Hello, hello.
Howdy, guys.
What's going on?
Nice to see you, JRF.
Hey, good to see you too.
Guys, if you wouldn't mind, I'm about to drop a link here in live stream chat. If you'd be so kind as to just spread the word that we're starting a Power Hour stream. I know it's a little bit late, but better late than never. It's good to be back. It's been too long since I've been able to spend any time doing a video. Matter of fact, too long since I've been able to really trade anything. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing just fine, thank you. I'm sitting here trying to spread the word out on Twitter, as a matter of fact.
Thank you, Sliver. Hey guys, hey. Thanks, chat. It's good to be back. Sorry I've been away for so long. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I'll wait for some folks to trickle in here before we get things really started. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so we're talking about ALZN right now because, of course, Mr. Todd Alt is pumping it, just like we said that he would. And ever since his stream started at precisely 1:45 market time, it's moved by, how much has it moved by? It moved by 8.5%. I was like, when this dude decides he's gonna jump on a stream to talk about anything, it's gonna be moving ahead of time, like as soon as the stream starts. I swear. Now, he's been talking about it for the last 2 weeks now, since since March 31st is when he started explicitly putting ALZN's logos and stuff on his videos. But in any case, what I've been tracking is ALZN has been in a long downtrend for quite a while. I'll go ahead and show you guys this on the 2-hour chart. So ALZN has been in a ALZN sold off pretty badly since its IPO date. Not long after ALZN dropped below $2, Alt Global Holdings entered into a position in the stock. Now, a little bit of background on the company: they are a biotech company and a pharmaceutical company that's looking into novel treatments for Alzheimer's and early onset dementia. So they're looking to treat people with, cognitive disabilities and diseases that that render them, well, basically incapable of living life independently. It's a pretty awful disease, and to the credit of the folks that are working in the field, it's a really difficult problem to solve. That's been it's been a priority of too few companies in pharmaceuticals for too long. Since this is a novel company, there's quite a bit of risk involved with trading an organization like this, with them entering as a publicly traded company. Basically, all of their capital is dedicated, or I'm sorry, provided by angel investors and people that are speculating, entrepreneurs and philanthropists that are speculating on the company being able to provide a working treatment for this disease. So they throw some capital at it to give it its early start and let them try to impress them. So far, it's not been as impressive, but lately there's rumblings that ALZN is getting ready to come out with some data to prove their viability of their treatments. And this is something that Todd Alt has been talking about, and pumping on his channel for the last week or so. Okay. Hey guys. Hey chat. All right, we've got a few people in here, so I'll address it now since we've got a few people watching. The reason why I have been away is because of work. Pretty much, it's all related to my main job, my primary source of income. Just things got really hectic and busy, and I've been forced into a position of having to monitor my monitor my emails constantly and just being Johnny on the spot, and it did not allow for me to have any kind of presence in Hell's trading floor or even no, or YouTube at all for the last several weeks. Things are starting to calm down a little bit, but it's kind of touch and go at the moment just because of things happening within my group. So my job is just it's heavily restricting my ability to find time for enough time to really do regular videos again. So I do apologize. It kind of came up unexpectedly, and I was not prepared to just suddenly drop everything and dedicate 110% of my focus to work. Things had been calm for a while, which was what allowed me to start this in the first place, but things got really hectic all of a sudden, and I fell way behind on work. So yeah, it's just the way it goes, but we will get through it. Let's
Always
talk.
happens at once, right?
Yeah, I know.
never,
When things
never
get
one at a
exciting.
time. It's always a downpour.
Yeah, I know. So, let's talk about some of the exciting tickers. So ALZN, I already mentioned that one. We're just waiting on. We're just waiting on this breakout. We've already got alt pumping it and I want to make this very clear before we move on from this discussion is that ALZN I think is a little bit pump and dumpy. So, I'm not staying in this company for a long-term position. I'm looking for a swing trade, and I feel like a lot of other people will be too. I do think that it could be a valuable company, but I also don't trust a word that Alt says, and I don't really believe in his narrative whenever he starts talking about this stuff. So I do have a large position in the company because I'm expecting a big move, but will it be natural? Probably not. Just my 2 cents. Looking at ALZN on Ortex. I'll go ahead and switch my view over to Ortex really quickly. Where is it? How come I cannot find... Sorry guys, for some reason I'm not able to show my Firefox. I was trying to show you Ortex data. Come on. Ah, there we go. Okay. The titling was just off. Okay, so let's take a look at ALZN's Ortex data just really quickly. Go look at the shorts. Short interest is pretty small, all things considered. What's really exciting about ALZN though is the options data. Right now, the options are kind of off the chain. While I wait for that data to get pulled up, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the other tickers that we've got here. So AMC, I'm sure everybody is really curious about. So AMC is currently in this falling wedge, which I kind of expected. My buying point was $22. This is where I doubled down on my position and got as much as I could grab. It kept falling a little bit, but I still am not worried about it. I'm really not that concerned. This was the pattern that I was expecting. I wanted to make sure that I had my entry in as safely as possible, and the volatility, the IV, went down far enough that I felt comfortable getting into that position at $22. So the drop off here, that doesn't really concern me. I am watching for it to break up and out of these areas of resistance. Notice that it is coiling hard. The swings are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as it tracks downward. And if you look at the OBV on a 2-hour chart, you'll notice a plateau. So even though it's selling off, after this initial sell-off, the OBV's barely gone down. That's because the diminishing volume, okay, it's kind of like decaying. It's like an exponential decay curve if you were to draw a line from the tops. So that is a signal of reversal getting ready to come in. So we haven't gotten the signal for the reversal just yet, but I feel like it's going to come soon. AMC only just barely broke back into its major downtrend falling wedge pattern on the daily and weekly charts. That's how I drew this out. So it only just barely fell back into that, and AMC's pattern for its previous squeezes, it forms this wedge. It'll break below, then up and out, and then it will bounce off of the top of it before it makes its next squeeze. It did it in the first squeeze leading up into January, and in the second one from May to June. So the same pattern has manifested itself here. I've extended out my timeline a little bit because I'm trying to look for a mathematical progression so that I can track these algorithms and see if there are signals or any time-based indicators when these algorithms are going to make their next big move. But in any case, I've entered into my AMC position. I am long, and I'm not worried. I'm sticking to this. Okay, so the ALZN options are in. Just show you this really quickly. This is the heat map for the options OI. Currently, ALZN's short squeeze data. It's a gamma squeeze. If ALZN starts to move beyond 250, then it can start to really run. There's a ton of options on the May calls, and they're so cheap. Like 250s are 10 cents on the ask right now. It's super cheap. If ALZN is really as good as Alt says, and I'm not saying that I'm endorsing anything that he says or that I verified any of it because I haven't, but if there's any truth to it and it moves on that news and that information that they have viability to their product, a move above 250 before May can lead to a run, absolutely. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at Mullen. I know everybody is pretty pissed about Mullen. So at the moment, there's a lot of drama surrounding the short report from Hindenburg, and you can say what you want about Hindenburg as a company. I personally have no love for them whatsoever. They make their money by basically fleecing retail and issuing bad reports on stocks that they've already shorted, and the only reason why they have any validity to their statements is because they get help in shorting down all of these companies. I have no doubt about that. But in any case, Mullen had some problems with it, and this was disclosed ahead of time that Mullen did have some sketchiness to it. The company was not well, it did not have good documentation for its sales and where this data was, where these cars were coming from and when their production line was going to be up and running. They have a production facility in Tunis, Mississippi, or Tunica, sorry, but that doesn't mean anything if there's no cars coming out of it. So, you know, if Mullen, it could bounce for all I know, but there's not really there's no way to guarantee that the company is actually producing real cars right now and that they're ready to be sold around the corner. They've made these claims repeatedly, but they've made these claims before. And like I said from the beginning that Mullen was a high risk play. It was really sketchy. So it's very you know, I don't know what to do at this point with Mullen. I have a few calls in it, but I may not. They're about to expire here at next Friday, so and they're about to expire worthless unless the stock moves. So it's a high risk play. Like I don't advise anybody to do anything. You know, you can buy or sell or whatever you want to do based on your own due diligence, but it must be on your own due diligence. Right now, I'm not adding or taking away. I'm not making any changes to my positions today. The other one that I'm looking at is BBIG. Oh, looks like it's bouncing. Nice. Okay. So I was looking at this inverse head and shoulders. It's a little small here.
You're not sharing trading view.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. No, this was the chart that I was showing you guys on Mullen. Mullen's kind of broken support. It bounced up off of it, and now it's retracing. Maybe it'll keep going, but anyway, yeah, that's all that I have to say about Mullen. Let's see. Let me catch up with chat and see what else. Let me see what else people have to say. Talk about Nile. I might talk about Nile in a little bit, but we'll get to that. ALZN has 1% the options contracts that Mullen does. That may be the case, but that doesn't mean anything if the stock doesn't move by at least another dollar before Friday. It's got to stay above. It's got to stay well above 250. Honestly, it needs to stay above 3 for those options to have a chance. Max pain is a very real danger right now. Let me double check the heat map. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mullen, it could go either way right now.
Mullen's catching a bid.
Is it really? Oh, so is ALZN.
Yep.
Yep.
By the way, Drew,
Yep.
if you check in the Discord on the Livestream Studio updates there, I'm trying to update there what tickers the chat is talking about.
Okay.
So you can pick from that list, and I will be editing it as soon as you talk about some of them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lever. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. So, okay. We've got a lot of requests for GFAI. I've seen that coming across chat quite a bit. ALZN keeps popping. See, SST. I apologize that I wasn't able to let everybody know on YouTube. I think that I only made this trade in the Discord, but I did buy some SST. I sold it. I sold it around $27. I bought around 22, 23. Yeah. I bought them on the 6th of April, and it was just for like next Friday. and I've already sold those. So I don't know what's going on with this stock. I just knew that it was volatile, so I followed some trades. Let's see, Mullen is catching a bid. Yes, it is. Yes, it certainly is. That's funny. As soon as I stop talking about it, that's when a big volume candle comes in, and suddenly it starts making it move. Well, you know, honestly, if my 5 strike calls ended up suddenly going in the money, I would not be upset about that. Okay, GFAI. Let's go ahead and look at GFAI. This is one that Verde called out. I don't know if Verde's in here right now. But, yep, we got some clear hellish divergence here. Look at this. Beautiful. These candles mean nothing with this low volume. The OBV shows that it's still moving strong, and it's establishing higher lows. Interesting. Okay. Well, GFAI is one that's been on our radar. Short interest, if I remember correctly, was pretty high. Yep. This was one to get excited about. GFAI looks good. As I recall, this company does not have options, and I am an options trader, so I prefer having options available for me to make any trades, just because I like that leverage, and I play with risky plays, but this one definitely looks like a solid squeeze candidate. Looking at the estimated short interest, it's clearly climbing to match with the short exempts. GFAI had a large number of short exempts, if I recall correctly, going back to early March, and it's been steadily climbing against that pressure. If I remember correctly, it was also on threshold, wasn't it? Yes, it is. So this stock has some potential to really move. I don't have any margin available to jump into any positions right now, but if I did, I would be jumping in right now. It's at support right now, and you're risking 20 cents. Honestly, you're only risking 20 cents because here's your next support right here. And your upside is 80 cents. So there's real potential for this thing to move. But honestly, in the situation of a squeeze like what this is shaping up to be like, with this cost to borrow over 320% on average, minimum of 280, that's huge. It's fully utilized as well. It's been fully utilized for a long time. Look at how high the utilization's been. It's been above 95% since the 1st of March. That's why this climb is happening. You've got market makers that are borrowing these in order to settle its failures to deliver so that they can keep trading the stock and keep it liquid. And it's really, it's putting them behind the 8 ball right now. Short interest of the free float is 35%. It was 50% just 7 days ago. Yeah, this is getting interesting. GFAI, if I could pull together some capital, I would be entering a position right now. It's juicy. I kind of want to see if I have any cash available in my other account because I really do want to trade this. I do have some capital available. Okay. We're going to enter a GFAI position. That's beautiful. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up a GFAI position. Let me go see what I have. Trade on the IEX always. Direct market orders every time. Except no substitutes. Let me see. How much cash am I allowed to trade with? Okay. So I just bought 500 shares of GFAI. Not a recommendation to buy anything. This isn't financial advice. I'm looking at a volatile trade right here. GFAI looks good. Short squeeze looks good. It's got all the factors there. Short exempts are pretty. They've been consistently high. Yep, it's very nice. Okay. All right. So I'm getting a lot of requests for Nile. I'll take a look at Nile next. Let me add this to my watch list, though. Awesome. Okay, now we'll look at Nile. So Nile still in a downtrend. I'm looking for it to bounce off of support here at any moment. 60.
You got what up, brother?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. God, I gotta keep my head on straight. I should have drank an extra cup of coffee today.
You good? We got your back.
Appreciate you. All right, so I've got my shares of Nile as well. I got them at like 75 cents, so I'm a little bit down right now. I'm down. I think that's like 30%. So I'm like 30% down. But I'm really not worried about it. Nile is Nile's another one that I think is another alt pump and dump. I mean, it's alt's company, like it's his company, but it's a really sketchy company. This one's a really high risk play. It's I don't know. But anyway, I'm buying shares of this one because I don't know when the volatility will come into the stock, and the options are really cheap. And in order for my options to be profitable, the stock would need to move 300%. Actually, no, 500% for those to go in the money, because the first option that's available is at $2.50 strike. So there's no reason to play with that kind of risk if you're going to play this for a volatility play, or if you're like trying to catch a pump and dump. If you think that this is a pump and dump, which I think it's a pump and dump, I think that Nile will pump, but I don't think that it's going to reach 250. And even if it did, I do not think that it's going to stay there. I don't think so. But the MACD is about ready to cross. It's oversold on the RSI, and the OBV is starting to turn around, and it's created a double top here. It's like a little M pattern kind of. I'm seeing this as a sign that the volume on the buy side is stronger than on the selling side. So there's accumulation happening here at the bottom. This is where I would be averaging down my position. As a matter of fact, I have a little bit more cash. My GFAI, I have a market order on GFAI and I only got a partial fill. How's that work? Is it because I'm trading on the IEX exchange? That's why. Nobody's giving me my fill on IEX right now for GFAI. Oh well. Anyway.
You got 1 minute till market close.
Yep, we got 1 minute to go. BBIG, I'm seeing a turnaround here. I'm thinking that this is going to be the reversal going into next week. I have calls for May. All right, so that's my position. I've already averaged down on that. If anybody is interested in playing that that hilarity, well, good luck. And I'm looking for the SPY to dump hard going into next week and the week after. So I'm literally comparing the 2008 crash with what's been going on right now in the market. So load TradingView, load. Yeah, this chart, it doesn't look like it because of the post crash data here.
Wow, Mullen just closed above 250.
No kidding. Wow.
It battled, and I had a sneaking suspicion it would. I've got a wacky theory.
Yeah.
I wonder if a lot of the call options sub 250 have been held by some of the players from the get-go, and closing above 250 gives them the opportunity to now exercise and push the stock even higher so they can get it closer to that 884 or whatever it is.
Yep. That's a good point. So I do want to revisit this really quickly. Housing bubble from 2008 and the scare crash from the government moratoriums that helped recover when the rating scare occurred, or the default scare, sorry. Default ratings skyrocketed to their highest historic levels in the United States back in May of 2006, and that caused this dump in the market because MBS started to waver and it crashed a little bit. It was a bit of a flash crash and it scared the market. But then the government stepped in and offered a moratorium on defaults, so they gave people a federal loan bereavement, and then that allowed for a recovery to occur. And it lines up perfectly with the same thing that happened during the COVID crash when everybody suddenly lost their jobs overnight because all these companies had to conform to COVID regulations, and nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody had to, conform to masking policies and all sorts of stuff. And there was just massive market scare, and a whole bunch of people lost their jobs all at the same time. So it put a bunch of people at risk of default. And then all of a sudden the government steps in and says, hey, moratorium, you get to live in your house and your apartments for free indefinitely. So don't worry about it. No reason to panic. And the market surged from there. And now, as we're coming out of COVID, and with repeated scares in the housing market, lining up with repeated scares in the housing market from 2008, because the truth started to show signs of itself. It's just funny how alike these charts really truly are. So I think that right here, where we are in this chart, lines up with this area of the chart, with May of 2008, right before the flash crashes started to truly begin. So that's, you can call me paranoid, you can call me a tinfoil hat wearing nutcase, but that's kind of where my head's at with this. Let me go ahead and catch up to everybody else in chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm moving too slow. Can't keep up with you guys. TCAT looks good. I never traded TCAT. I remember it being a crypto play that was pretty popular. Oh yeah, it's starting to move again. This thing was ridiculous when it took off back in what was it? Yeah. When it did this, I was there. I was playing AMC, watching Matt Kors on his YouTube channel at the time, and then I just watched TCAT just go to fucking what the hell did it even go to? This is like $50. Yeah, I was like, why did this happen? This makes no sense. And I guess crypto was just pumping, and everyone was excited. But yeah, hit a high of $50.84. I was there for it, but I just watched it happen. I didn't play it at all. But yeah, anyway, if you look at the OBV on TCAT, it's doing the same thing. It's starting to create like a little U bend in it. Gotta zoom way in on it to see it. But you notice that does this big jump up and then a sideways on the OBV, and it starts to ladder up a few times, that's when you know that it's coming. But I don't think TCAT has any options, so you would have to be trading shares. $4 is actually not bad. But yeah, looking at the price with this laddering up, kind of like this, like it was doing back here February 2021, is lining up with this a little bit, and it's right around the same price points too. It's actually exactly the same price point. So I would be looking for a bit of a retrace, maybe form a bearish pattern before it breaks into an inverse head and shoulders. That's what it did last time. It doesn't mean that it'll do the same thing again, but there's a lot of volume coming into it, and there's speculation that crypto is going to revive soon. So maybe TCAT will make another move as well. Who knows? But I'm probably not going to play this one, honestly. I don't follow this stock, and I play crypto on the side. Let's see, what else do we got? Progenity. Let's look at Progenity. So Progenity is starting to consolidate. It's been consolidating for a little while. I've been expecting Progenity to kind of make its rebound. It never created the automatic bounce that happened. I guess this one could be considered the automatic bounce when it jumped back up to 135. But yeah, I'm still waiting for Progenity to make another move up. But I'm probably I'm rolling out my options till May. I still have tons and tons of leaps though. Like I've set myself up for unlimited wait time on this one. I'm kind of disappointed because Progenity was one that I really thought that earnings was going to be when they disclosed the good news, so that the executive team would be able to trade on the hype. But they're keeping it really tightly under wraps, and whatever this NDA that they have with their partner, it really sucks because their partner is not allowing them to actually give them the good news that would allow the company to survive, and I have to wonder if that's intentional so that their partner can consider them for a buyout and not let their stock move. That kind of happens with these biotech companies. They get buried by the big guys, and they're never allowed to break into the market. I do worry that could be the case here, but I don't know. I guess we will find out. But I still think that Progenity long term is an excellent company. It's well worth it's well worth far more than what it's trading here. And even at the peak of the squeeze, I think that's still undervalued for Progenity. I'm continuously buying Progenity every chance that I get. Let's take another look at BBIG. Yep, close very nicely on an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. Here's your shoulder, head, shoulder, and here's the neckline getting ready to break out. It may move post-market, but if it doesn't move until until Monday, that's fine with me. I'm expecting it to break clean out past this this wedge that it had formed. This pennant, it'll probably jump back into it and consolidate before it starts its next run. I wasn't really, I didn't trade to anticipate this this sell-off, but it's not a legitimate sell-off. The volume's too low. It doesn't line up with how BBIG's been trading. Tilray. What did happen to Tilray? Looks like it dumped a little bit after the. It dumped a little bit after earnings, but it was a good earnings, wasn't it? They were a little bit down on their revenue, but their earnings per share was positive. That seems annoyingly stupid. Well, if you like Tilray for a weed play, like it's the company that I would be buying if I was going to buy weed stocks. I'm not playing any weed stocks right now, but like look at that OBV. It looks really nice and healthy. This sell-off doesn't really seem natural to me. And it doesn't make sense after such a positive earnings report. I guess I'm only getting like the overview, but that's a really nice earnings. Even if they had lower revenue, like they must have slashed their expenses. They must have done really well. HYMC. HYMC is doing fantastic. Look at these back-to-back pennants, higher lows, and it's starting another leg up. That's lovely. That's lovely. Let me actually set this up as a ray. That's beautiful. Okay, so HYMC, definite squeeze situation. Looking at Ortex for HYMC. Let me go ahead and pull this up really quickly. I'll show you guys so that you can see too. %5 short of free float. I don't have the heat map in front of me, so I can't show where the options are currently. If somebody happens to be here and is able to drop that in live stream questions for me, or give me the ScourgeBot data for the live options inspect, that would be helpful. But in any case, what I'm really looking at, rather than the free float, is the estimated short interest just in share count. Because right now, the estimated percentage of free float is down since they diluted. But that's just because you're dividing by a bigger float. If you actually look at the shorts keep rising and rising and rising. And the short exempts have been climbing and climbing and climbing, which is the same thing that Mullen did, if you remember correctly. So what did Mullen do? It had 2 legs up, and then it made its first run, and then it sold off, and then it got bought back up again, and it went all the way to $4. HYMC has much bigger squeeze potential because the options and the short interest are much higher. OI on HYMC is, let's see, look at it. I'll go ahead and pull it up. Looks like Scourge is having some problems today right now. Oh well. Unfortunately, I won't be able to pull the heat map in for HYMC. I'll probably see if I can. I'll see if I can tweet it out later once we get ScourgeBot back up and running. It's been slowing down today. I think we're getting to the point where too many users are. I think too many users are using it at the same time, and we'll have to bump our resources. Yes. This also is very interesting, seeing this covering happening on a downtrend. This is interesting. See, so a whole bunch of shorts got into it here and then started exiting here. So taking about 20 cents off the top. 20, 30 cents. And it's on the threshold list. This thing is, wow, it's been on the threshold list for a long time, since the 14th. It's approaching 21 days on the threshold list. So T plus 21 might end up being significant here. Security lending volume is still really high. I'm going to be patiently waiting for HYMC, but I'm expecting a reversal or a sell-off here. This is going to be a critical support right now. I'm going to wait to see what it does, but I expect HYMC will probably get a drop on low volume and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of options will get bought up, call options, and then watch it make a move. So I'm going to be looking for a sell off and a drop in volatility for me to enter a buying position. I'm not currently in HYMC, but this is how I'm choosing to trade it. I'm going to expect HYMC to complete this pennant with a breakdown. Because anything that trades with AMC, it breaks down before the closure of the pennant, and then it makes a move. It's just the way it trades, and it's just the way that AMC trades, so I'm expecting HYMC to trade similarly. Let's see. I haven't talked about Gamestop yet today. I'll talk about Gamestop. Where's my watch list? There we go. Okay. GameStop doing a very similar thing. Notice this big sell-off in the price, but the OBV is
TD.
still sideways. Oh, yep, thank you. I was way ahead of you. I was just ahead of you. All right, I'm switched over to TradingView here, and we got GameStop up. So we see that we hit this peak and all of a sudden had a sell-off. Kind of expected this resistance at 180. If you guys remember what I talked about, 180 was this big area of resistance. It was significant. We actually almost touched $200, but it tried to break 200 twice, and it just couldn't do it. These big drops, this huge volume surge, I suspect this is shorts just all hammering it at once, shorting it at the top and trying to drive it down. But the OBV has been sideways ever since, even though this price has kept dropping. Expect consolidation for a little while here at this 145, 150 level. If GameStop can break 160 again, I think it'll retest 180 and then break up to retest 200 again. Reason why I suspect that is because of this overall trend of these tops ever since the January squeeze. It's tops, top, 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 top. Just repeatedly bounces off of these levels. If GameStop at any point can break out beyond this trend, that's MOAS. Just my opinion. Earnings right now is still way down. Revenue is looking better, but earnings is way down. They made a lot of purchases though, and they're spinning up a new online retail store model, so a lot of expenses go in with that. But in any case, GameStop, I'm looking for it to break down to 135 and hold that before its next leg up. It may hold 145, but I'm going to be looking for support at 135. That's the level that I would pick. So, have patience. For those of you who have been in this movement since January, you understand a thing or two about patience, I imagine. Okay, what other tickers do we have here?
You have a question about LGVN.
LGVN?
Yeah.
Let's see. Big move and a sell-off, but the OBV is not proportional to the price. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Wow, it nearly touched. It almost touched $17. It looks like 15 was the resistance that it had to break up above and stay over. It's trading in this channel now. Okay. I see what it's doing. The volume is really low right now. Yeah. This is what LGVN did the last time. Broke up to the 15 and then it consolidated. And then it had a big breakout up to $45. Holy crap. That's wild. Yeah, it could be making a move. I don't trade this one. I don't know enough about it. But I see the MACD is getting ready to turn over any day now. This one might need time though. Might need time. Tell you what, I'll set an alert on this. Okay, so I've got that alert set for the Discord. If y'all want to keep an eye on this one, it's got my attention now. So MACD is the MACD swung pretty big in both directions, but it is down below right now. So if it wants to move, may happen soon. But wait for that cross. There's been a lot of fake outs just in the last couple of days here, if you see that. Okay. An ATER. I'm probably going to have to call it after this. I got an appointment to take care of. ATER is making some big moves. It's starting to ladder up, and the OBV is creating a stair pattern. That's something that I look for a lot with these possible squeeze plays. You look at ATER in the past, and you see that it did the same thing. Had a step up here, and then another one up here, and then another one, and then it had a natural correction. This was a natural correction, I say, because I see that the selling volume matched. So when the volume matches and the OBV moves with the price proportionately, that's more natural. But when the price just suddenly sells off and the OBV does like basically this, where it's just sideways, that's not natural. So ATER is on my radar. As a matter of fact, I need to add it to my watch list. Let's keep it on the bets list. But a 21% swing today. That's nice. ATER has been on my radar for a squeeze for a long time, but I got out of my position a long time ago when it started to sell off past $10. Anyway, let's get on to the last of these. Yeah, sorry guys that I'm so slow at getting to each of these tickers. PUBG noob, thought you were dead, bro. Nah, I'm still here. I'm a wage slave, dude. I gotta pay the bills. Let's see. Oh yeah, we were in IRNT. IRNT got hit pretty badly after earnings, so I'll go ahead and address that really quick. But it looks like it's returning, so I'm pretty happy, honestly. I'm still in my position with IRNT. I didn't change anything about my position. I held through that sell-off. But this was the moment where I was like, you slimy bastards, messing with my cybersecurity stock. IRNT is made out of iron, though. It's not going to go. It's not going to go down without a fight. And besides that, look at the OBV. Like, come on. Look at this accumulation that happened here. Just going from $4 up to $5. This big move here, just just in a single day, it only moved by, what was this, 25%? Let's see how good my head math is. 20%. I'm a little off, but anyway, close enough. IRNT moved by about 20% in that day. And look at what the OBV did. And it's been sideways ever since, despite this sell-off. This is accumulation, okay? There's people that are trying to get a bigger position. IRNT is going to make its move soon. We just have to be patient. So if you are playing IRNT and you're interested in my position, I've got a mixed bag of May 20th calls, and I have a few for $6 strike on next Friday, but those are pretty much worthless. They're about to expire worthless. If you want to play IRNT, I would give it at least a month. That's what I chose to do. Give it 30 days. And the volatility is coming down on it, so this nice little IV drop is a bit of a buying opportunity to get like some $4 strike calls or something closer to the money. Let's see. Any others? Thanks, guys.
If you see the last question in the live stream studio updates.
What do you think about the need for people to comment on the SEC proposal to shorten the short reporting before it closes? Was that Dave Lauer's? Oh, it's the SEC proposal. I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. There needs to be more transparency overall on short reporting. That I firmly believe. I'm in full support of the proposal to make that move. If the SEC were to enforce shorter reporting deadlines, and also enforce greater transparency into the entities that do the shorting, it's all steps in the right direction that need to happen. They all need to happen. The biggest changes that I would want to see, in addition to just general support for a shorter reporting deadline on short reports, is I want to see the SEC enforce entities that enter into large short positions to report with the same stipulations that those with long positions must report. There's a huge discrepancy between entities that have to file like a 13G filing is what it's called. Anytime you purchase more than 5% of a security, 5% stake in a security, you must disclose it with a special 13G form. And if the entity doesn't do that, then they're in violation. And the purpose of this is to let people know when there's major changes, major fundamental changes in ownership that happen, they want that disclosure to happen publicly. But that doesn't happen for shorts. So shorts don't have to disclose that. And it's bullshit. So there needs to be a likewise appropriate reporting requirement for shorts to report their positions when they make massive purchases of short positions at any time. And there needs to be better enforcement mechanisms for the SEC to actually watch that and report and blow the whistle on the violators. Entities that do this and just like smash a stock by shorting like 10% of it in a single day, they're doing it maliciously to crush the stock price and cause panic and fear. And without those disclosures, there's no explanation for why the stock sold off. And then people will speculate and throw out all sorts of other just wild claims about why the stock is selling off, when the real reason is that one entity didn't like it and decided to swing their giant boulder-sized nuts onto the table and say short 10% of the stock and smash it into oblivion. AMC #1 owned stock from Fintel Data. Interesting. I didn't see that. Thanks, Ricky Ray. We should have at least 1,000 comments on the proposal and only have a little over 150. Please advise others to submit comments. I'm happy to do that, and I've already submitted some comments on the proposal, but I'm not going to. I'm not gonna, because I put my actual name on it. I'm not going to throw that out there. What exactly I said, but I am in. Everybody should be commenting on the SEC proposals. If there are other changes that you want to see the SEC impose on short reporting and short trades in general, it is in your best interest to issue comments on those SEC proposals. That is how they choose to get communication and feedback from investors. All of your Twitter rants, they don't pay attention to that. I'm sorry. Like you're not famous enough for the SEC. I'm not famous enough for the SEC. They don't care what you say on Twitter. But if you submit it in triplicate to their SEC proposals page, then they'll pay attention. Because obviously you must have millions of dollars if you went to that much effort. Retail makes up $5.5 trillion of the market. If you use Fintel data, that would be $222 billion in AMC at $70 average. That's 3.2 billion shares. I can't agree with the math because that's highly speculative, but it's an interesting thought experiment. Okay. Yeah. I agree with you, John Bennett. There's a lot of bizarre activity around AMC that's yeah, I'm happily holding. I'm happily holding, no matter what anybody tells me. Whatever has been going on with AMC, I'm not screwed. I'm not screwed. This downtrend on AMC is not natural. And I'm holding out for everybody else. Keep an eye out. AMC is just consolidating. It's getting ready to go and rip some faces off. All you got to do is be patient. Am I still in Excella? No, I sold that for a loss. I wanted to move into another position, and Excella is a oil play. I'm already in CEI for an oil play. I didn't want to, or I'm sorry, Excella is a technologies company. I forget what I sold Excella for. But yeah, I am no longer in Excella right now. That doesn't mean that it's a bad company or that the thesis isn't still sound. But I was trying to catch a day trade, and Excella was down by 10% for me, so it just hit my risk, and I decided to wait for a better entry. And I made that trade on stream, by the way. I did say on stream that I was going to get out of Excella, and I forgot what I bought in return for that. But yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? I think it was so that I could buy more options in AMC. I think I wanted to buy more AMC. Let's see. Positive outlook on AMC? Yes, absolutely. If you've looked at my charts, or if you haven't looked at my charts, actually, I'm happy to show them to you. I have been tracking each squeeze on AMC since the beginning. I have analyzed this chart so long since I got into this freaking game. And I am watching for AMC to close out of this falling wedge and break out of the break out of the daily falling wedge. So this is the short-term hourly falling wedge. This is the daily falling wedge. I am looking for this thing to break out and then shatter all resistances. Okay. And I'm not giving any price targets right now, but I am mapping out this resistance just based off of the tops of the squeezes. So I think that if AMC does truly squeeze, like what MOAS will look like, I think it will look something like this. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it will happen next week. I don't know if it'll happen next month or next year. But right now, it's getting interesting. The volatility is nice. And the OBV has consolidated higher and higher and higher. We're back to retesting these highs on the OBV. So if we break out again, then it'll look something. It'll probably end up looking something like this. This is where I think we are in the chart currently. If you were to compare AMC's current moves to what it's doing right now, just keep an eye on the boxes. Just look at the boxes. This is where I think we are, okay? That is how I have studied these charts so long. I have spent far too much time mapping these things out. You shouldn't trust what I say because I have lost all of my mind to the time that I have spent staring at this and overanalyzing it to hell. So please don't take this as financial advice. This is just my wild speculation about what's going on with AMC. You must trade your own risk. Please respect your own risk. So whatever you do, don't just take my word for it. Trust yourself above all and understand that you should not trade more than you're willing to lose. Everything that you put into this trade could disappear, okay? You have to do what's right for you. But feel free to take a snapshot of this chart if you like. I can. I think that I can. I think I can share the link somewhere. Forget where it is. God, where is it? I forget how to share the link off of this. Well, oh well. Maybe I'll just publish it on TradingView Ideas, and then people can speculate wildly on it. It'll be fun. That'll oh, I have to write a blog post about it. Oh man, that's no fun. I don't want to have to do that. I just wanted to show a pretty picture. I'll have to write about it a little later. But yeah, you can take a look at this chart and see if it lines up with your own thesis. But yeah, this was the product of a lot of over-analyzing the hell out of AMC's chart and its movement, down to the point where I was like staring at timelines on 5 minutes and replaying the options gamma and stuff, and just all sorts of ridiculous analysis of things that led to nowhere. But in the end, it all came down to short exempts and a lot of short interest, and of course, a little help of some call options, lots and lots of call options. Okay. Do I have time to check MTTR? All right. I'll do one more. But that's it. I can't do no more.
Encore, encore, encore.
Oh, that I don't know what the post market price was doing, but that looked scary. It was like $1. I'm like, oh no, so many people lost so much money. I'm so sorry. Oh man, I don't know what the hell why TradingView did that. A lot of consolidation. I don't know. Let me see. Is ScourgeBot working? Come on, ScourgeBot. I believe in you.
Yeah, it should be working.
Yay. All right. It's moving pretty quickly. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty snappy now. Okay, MTTR has 68.5% of its options interest in calls. The open call interest for $7.50 and $10 and $12.50 are the highest. The gamma ramp. TTR. I'll show you guys these charts. It's a decent gamma ramp. It's not huge. It's not huge, but it's good. It could get moving. I'll go ahead and show you my layout here. So this is ScourgeBot's short squeeze inspect. As you can see, the percentage of the float in the money over here on the y-axis and the strike prices on the x-axis. Current market price is marked at 706, and at $15 is the greatest growth, where 3.6% of the float would be in the money. Your biggest move would be up to $10. Above $10, you'd have about 2.5% of the float in the money. So it's a decent sized gamma ramp. It's not huge, but it's notable. The thing with this particular stock is that it just looks like it's been in consolidation for a long time, and it's kind of it's kind of shifted to a more natural movement. Just looking at it on TradingView. I'll take a look at it on Ortex just to see if there's anything else that I'm missing before I go. Sponge Fam, I've already covered Mullen, so if you want to take a look at that, you can go a little bit further back in the stream, but I've already talked about that. Yeah, 12% short interest of free float is pretty sizable. That's pretty significant. Utilization is high too. How long has it been up there? Okay. Yeah, it's been bouncing off 100 for a while. So it's consolidated down here, and the shorts have basically run out of ammunition. It's going to be up to bulls to step in. So when the bulls do step in, that's when, yeah. Okay. Let me take away some of this busyness. 18.28 million shares failed to deliver. Wow, that's nuts. Okay, take that off the threshold list. Yeah, the utilization staying this high is what I find interesting. I would want to see MTTR move a bit. I wouldn't be counting on gamma since the options are not high enough for a gamma squeeze to really take place. It's less than 5% of the float, which is just not significant on the entire options chain. The short interest is what's interesting, so you need to get consistent share buying and holding. Like, this has to be a diamond play for this thing to start moving. And shorts will probably keep piling in and keep trying to hit it and hit it and hit it and hit it over and over and over again. And then you need some fundamental catalysts, which I don't know if there are any for MTTR. I will leave that to you as an exercise of your own research. But yeah, for right now, I see potential upside. It's consolidating nicely here, so there is upside to this. I don't know where it could go to, but based on its establishing these higher lows each time, it looks like it's at support. You'd be risking 50 cents. Yep, between 50 and 80 cents, actually. So I would set the risk at... Yeah, I'd set risk at $7 right now, because if it breaks below that, then you're gonna end up seeing like $6.50. But if it establishes a new higher low here after today, and it makes its next move upward, then you give yourself a good dollar upside. So it's nice. It's a nice looking chart. It's good consolidation. Take a look at it here on TradingView. It's kind of breaking. It's kind of breaking down below though, so be careful. If it breaks below 7, that's probably as far as I'd be willing to go. But if it comes back into this channel and breaks up, then yeah, it could see $9 again. Just play cautiously. That's what I would be doing here. Play this one cautiously, because shorts can always come and find new shares to short. They'll figure it out. And if the company's not doing well, which the earnings are consistently moving down like this, that's not a good sign. That's bad, actually. So yeah, be careful. Just be careful. Okay. Well, I am looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad that I was able to find some time to stop in and see y'all and share what I could. hopefully things will calm down a little bit more, and I'll be able to show up a bit more consistently in the next coming weeks. But please be patient with me, since I got bills to pay, and YouTube doesn't pay them. It's just my job, so, and it's a little bit demanding right now. So thank you in advance for your understanding, and thanks again for stopping by. Hope you guys had a good week in the trading week, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a hell of a weekend.